My bad. I always do the countdown and I forgot. So come on, camera. Sorry, I changed the setup a little bit for nightcap last night. So anyway, instead of the countdown, I just went straight to the camera. My apologies. I don't think you'll necessarily care, but goof on my part. Okay, let's do it. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Thursday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, if you need an orthopedist, you go to Brock because they're the best. That's just what you do with locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Dozens of physicians in all different types of specialties, no matter what orthopedic issue you may have, neck, back, foot, ankle, knee, they got you. Pediatrics, PT, and of course, Parrish Construction and Roofing. We would certainly encourage you to visit parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Free, no obligation roofing inspections. Mentioned it on Nightcap. As we kind of get started here, I would just be insanely grateful to anybody who would give our crews a shout. Let us come give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection. At high wind, heavy rain, damaged shingles, all that sort of stuff, we'd love to help you out. Parishbuilt.com. Okay, LSU lands a commitment from defensive tackle transfer JVR Suggs. We've talked about Suggs now for a good bit. 6'2", a little under 300 pounds. Pretty productive player the past couple of years at Grand Valley State. So coming in from the Division II level to the SEC, significant jump. As I mentioned, we saw Jared Verse do that when he left Albany and went to Florida State and became, an All-American caliber player and a first-round draft pick. So it can happen, when you're 22 years old, 23 years old. He had some really sizable offers: Florida State, USC, Kentucky, Michigan, Arkansas. A lot of schools were interested. LSU got in the mix late and ended up landing his commitment. I think I've told you all this before. It was not really a unanimous take among the staff. Not everybody on the coaching staff was wanting to take Suggs, but I'll tell you, ultimately, Brian Kelly would have the final say, and I believe he wanted to take JVR Suggs. And I don't know if it's that he thought the player was a difference maker, or if he felt like he had to take a defensive tackle because of how much emphasis they put on that position here in this offseason. But either way, I could argue, and I would argue that it's not a bad thing to take and add experience depth. That's a general principle I have. I mean, your injuries happen, and you could argue competition is a good thing, and sure, there's nothing wrong with that. I really wonder though, like, are you adding someone just to add him, or do you think this is an impact guy? I mean, we talked about Dominic Williams from TCU. We talked about I keep blanking on this kid's name, Simeon Barrow from Michigan State. And look, man, those guys were starters at the Power 5 level. Ready-made, plug-and-play, better than any option you had. I get that. If you're taking a guy just to take him, just to add another body at that position, I don't know that I quite understand it. But give the kid the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully he comes here, works really hard, and hopefully becomes an All-American. That'd be awesome. So LSU lands JVR Suggs. Game one tonight, LSU Ole Miss out at the box. Also out there on the docket. I'm going to kind of keep an eye on the weather this weekend. So today there's a 65% chance of rain. It's looking like, and it looks like it's severe weather. And it looks like that weather is looking like it's going to come in tonight, like 9, 10 o'clock. So, and rain all the way through the night. There's a 60% chance of rain Friday and then 55% Saturday. So it's looking like they may be dodging rain all weekend. I think the most interesting part of how that all plays out is what does it mean for your pitching? What does it mean for pitching? Because you certainly don't want to go start Gage Jump, run into a rain delay, and then he's burned for the weekend. You don't want to start Luke Holman, run into a rain delay, and he's burned for the weekend. So, last year in super regional play, we got to see how that delay went with Skeens. No, I guess it was Floyd. Was it Skeens or was it Floyd? Um, Maybe it was the Floyd start against Kentucky in the super regional when it was just a beautiful day outside. And but there might have been they didn't want it to start and have a long lightning delay, and then you burned. I think it was Floyd, but either way, uh, sometimes Jay may have his way of getting things done in that respect, but we'll see. So game one tonight at 6:30. I mean, in theory, they could even move it up. Like if the forecast is calling for weather at 9, um, they could move. We've seen that as well. They could move the game up. I think today. Let me check to make sure, but I'm pretty sure today's game, TV is what would matter, right? And I think today is just streaming. That's not what I wanted. Let's see. Here we go. No, I'm sorry. Tonight's SEC Network. At 6. So that actually helps. That's a 6 o'clock first pitch. Friday and Saturday are SEC Network Plus. Tonight is the SEC Network game. So that may keep it in that slot because it's slated for the network. So all right, Saints schedule released last night as well. We'll talk about it. Y'all know the drill. Fire away. Glad to have you aboard with us as always. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. We appreciate you for being there with us. I'm a little dressed down today, going to see Crystal Poche this morning. Let her go work some of these kinks out in my back, and glad for it. I got the web right there, Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. Book a session with Crystal, y'all. I'm going to do a time-lapse video today of my session with Crystal so y'all can see what it's like. Damon Gilmore, what's good? Brett Gidry, Nightcap is back. Got me through some long and tough recovery days in China. Okay. Oh, you mean back when we were doing Nightcap back in the day? Yeah, man. Excited. It was fired up to do Nightcap last night, man. It was it was good to see a lot of familiar faces. It was good to be hanging out with everybody. Yeah, I enjoyed it, man. We did Nightcap last night. Abner Neal, Jason Horn, what's good? Top of the morning. Late night, yeah, man, because of Nightcap, bro. Yeah, we rolled past 11. I mean, ended up doing like almost a 2-hour Nightcap. So didn't get to bed till past midnight, but back to the grind, man. The grind. By the grind, I mean talking on into a microphone. Brian Wynn, what's up? Bailey C. Admittedly, not really excited about the defensive tackle. Nothing against him. I wish LSU would land the difference makers in the portal. Seems like they began bargain shopping. That's exactly what happened, Bailey C. I mean, they had their premier list. They missed on those guys. We've talked about why they missed. I mean, I told you the story. So, my thing would have been, cool, roll with what you got. They wanted to add somebody, so they added JVR Suggs. I hope he's awesome, man. I hope he comes in as a friggin' All-American and has a great season. Dan Roof, morning, Matt. You think getting Suggs was for numbers of starting caliber? Or is it starting caliber? Yeah. I mean, I can go by what Brian Kelly pretty routinely said, which was they were looking for a starter, right? They had a starter in Jacoby and Guillory. One, they were confident. They were looking for the other guy, which is why you saw them go after starting caliber defensive tackles in the portal. And now Suggs has been a starter just at the Division II level. So I think it would be ambitious to think he's going to step in day one and be a starter. Then again, I mean, we were seeing Kimo Makaneoli take reps with the ones in spring, and that's a guy that has never played defensive line. Now, I don't know if y'all heard, but we had Dominic McKinley on the show earlier this week. He told me he's up to 315. Now, he wants to get down to 300. He doesn't tend to be that heavy, but he started his senior year at 280. He's at 315 right now. So drop 15 pounds, get healthy around 300. He certainly will look the part at 6'5", 300. So, McKinley coming in could be a guy. I mentioned Gio Pius from Wisconsin. Jalen Lee, Sean Washington. You got, I'll keep saying it. You've got bodies, which you don't have as a proven starter. Kenneth Pohl, good morning. Enjoyed Nightcap with the boys. Cheers. Taylor, good morning. Do we feel like the DT is okay? We answered that one. Wendell, good morning. Bill, good morning. Let's get some baseball wins this weekend. You don't need some, Bill. You need all three. I'll continue to say this, y'all. Under the current format since 1999, there has not been an SEC team that has gone 12-18 and made regionals. So LSU sitting on 10 wins. You've got to sweep Ole Miss. You've got to sweep Ole Miss to get to 13, or you will have to do something that has never been done before. And I think the only way in, if you don't sweep this weekend, is you've got to win the SEC tournament. So you either sweep this weekend or you win the SEC tournament. Those are your paths into regional play. You have had 12 win teams make it, 3 of them since 99 under this format, but they were 12-17. They'd lost games due to rainouts or whatever the case may have been. Bart, good morning. Pat, good morning. Nightcap back in biz. Tiger Diver, thanks for bringing back Nightcap. I love it, man. Thank y'all for being there. Deborah, hope the Tigers get to play on schedule this series. You know, Deborah, now that I say it out loud, I just mentioned that 3 teams have made regionals at 12-17. What if they only get 2 in and LSU wins them both and they finish 12-17? I mean, that has happened before. So maybe that's what we're pulling for. Jerry G, good morning. Tommy Primo was getting caught up on Nightcap. All right, Tommy. Appreciate you, man. Larry, what up? Irfan Jay Borden, Christian, the rebirth of Nightcap was a good time. I had a good time too. I'm glad y'all did. One of the things I can tell y'all, and I'd love your feedback. I told y'all the new parish office. We bought a building that it will be impossible to miss our building if you are traversing Interstate 10 at Highland. Um, one of the things that Terrio and Richard Tilley and I have been talking about is, do we put a studio in there? And we might, to be able to do shows like Nightcap or like Morning Scone or game, the companion shows, different stuff like that. Record podcasts or YouTube shows, or whatever. Like we may there's space, and I think we may end up doing that. Tim Gotro, Nightcap, I love it. Eli, week 2 last year, the Saints beat Carolina by 3 points. Don't be surprised they pull an upset. Carolina's O-line is much improved. The big difference, though, with that, Eli, is that game is in New Orleans. That game's in New Orleans. The game week 2 last year was up in Carolina. So I would be surprised if Carolina beats New Orleans in the Dome in week 2. Bubba Smith, good morning. I'm sorry, that was in week 1. Forgive me, week 1 in the Dome. I would be surprised. And remember, after that, the Saints are they're at Dallas. They're home against Philly. They're at Atlanta. They've got Kansas City in the mix there as well. I mean, it's a brutal start. I mean, my guess is the Saints are going to start 1-4. And they better beat Carolina if they want to start 1-4. Now, they got a lot of chances to stockpile wins late. Sound familiar? You dig yourself a deep hole, and then you rally late, like 1-4 your last 5. Sound familiar? Bubba Smith, Dustin Balello. Hope the Scone family had a great day. Thank you, man. We did. Kelly Gross, what's going on? Jerry, Nightcap was awesome. First time witnessing it. Love it, Jerry. Thanks for being there, man. Yeah, so Nightcap is a show, for those that aren't familiar, that was born out of COVID when quarantine was happening and nobody was doing anything and there was nothing going on and there was no live sports. I would just fire up a live stream at night and we'd have a pour and we would just I'd talk anything about anything, sports, life, radio, media, anything, family. So as long as people kept having comments and asking questions, I stayed on. And so, I mean, Nightcaps pushed 2 hours last night. So now it did start at 9:30 last night. And the intention normally is to start at 9 Central. So that's what I'll do moving forward. But we were just taking care of Drew and some stuff last night, and it was sort of spontaneous. So, and Erica needed some help, so I didn't start till later. But next week, plan on 9 o'clock for Nightcap. Ronnie Duga, Charlie Cavell, Jeff McKithen headed to Louisville this weekend. Buffalo Trace, Woodford, Old Forest, Rabbit Hole, Peerless, Angels Envy. I am so jelly. Enjoy it, Jeff. That's awesome, man. I'm happy for you. Lee, good morning. Nightcap was a blast. Cheers. You, by the way, shout out to Darren James. You need a realtor? Give my guy a call. Randall, morning, Matt. Who do you think Jay would start in a win or your season's over game? I say Holman. So, I mean, Randall depends because he's not going to start Luke Holman if Holman isn't on proper rest. Um, so that scenario matters. Like think back to the College World Series in 2017, right? It was LSU Florida in the championship series. You lose game one, and your season's on the line, but Lang wasn't ready to come back yet, and so Poche started game two, and then Lang was ready for game three had they won, but they didn't get there. So, I mean, Jay isn't gonna put any of these guys at risk, nor should he, by the way. That's 100% the right call. So your question is a little bit the question is a little undefined, right? I would need to know like what the scenario is. Like here's a good question for you. Who is that? Those Randall. Here's a good question for you, Randall. All right, let's LSU's going to make the SC tournament, but they're going to play Tuesday, and Tuesday is single elimination. Okay. And then if you get past Tuesday, you get to Wednesday, you get into the double elimination portion of the field. So if you don't win Tuesday, like let's say LSU wins 2 out of 3 this weekend. Okay, so you're at 12 league wins. You go to Hoover knowing you got to go do damage in Hoover. Like you need to play into the weekend. You probably need to win the whole tournament. So you're sitting there on Tuesday. Who do you start? Well, Jump starts tonight. Um, he would be on 4 days rest. Holman would be on 3 days rest. Like there's no chance. And look, that's kind of a win or your season's over type deal. There's no way you're bringing back Holman on 3 days rest. Like no way, zero chance not happening. And I don't think you're bringing back Jump on 4 days rest. What would more likely happen is you would try to get through it however you could. You start Cade Anderson, maybe it's Thatcher Hurd. You get through it Tuesday however you can. Maybe you go this what you did on Sundays, like Ackenhausen, and it would sit, and then as a starter, and then or an opener, as they'd say, and try to piece it together, and then get to Jump Holman Wednesday, Thursday as you'd go, and hope you could play yourself into the weekend. But so I guess point is, I understand your question, but the question's kind of incomplete because there's some really important details there. Eric, if 12 wins means we have to win the SC tournament, does a loss Friday mean we just throw the game on Saturday in the name of setting up pitching for the tournament? No, because if you don't, let's say you win Thursday, you lose Friday, and you're at 11 wins. If you lose on Saturday and you're stuck at 11, then there's no shot. Then like there's no shot whatsoever. Unless if you win the SC tournament, which I guess what you're saying though, to say like you set up pitching, but it wouldn't matter either way because you. By the way, no, okay, because they're one win away from clinching a berth in the SC tournament, but you'd still have to. You're still not bringing back Jump on Tuesday, so no. Jen, we need to tour the new building when complete. Absolutely will happen, Jen. I think we're about like 6-8 weeks. I mean, it's like a gut renovation. I mean, it's a building that the bones of the building are awesome. Needed a little TLC. There's a great project though. When it's finished, it's going to be awesome. I hope they're taking like before and after pictures. But yeah, the parish office is going to be awesome. Jason Walker, let's see. Jacob Willis, good morning. Lucy B, morning, Matt. Can you tell us one more time where the teams are staying in Vegas? Yeah, Mandalay Bay and Delano. Hey, Aunt Sharon, good morning. Hope you're doing awesome. Can't wait to see y'all in a few weeks. Scone Family Crawfish Bowl coming up Memorial Day weekend. Let's see. Trivia Carter, good morning. Brian Pike, when you say it was unanimous among staff, was it because they didn't want to lose a scholarship they don't necessarily need, or they didn't like what they saw in film? Yeah, they just didn't agree that it was a take. Like you just don't take. Like they didn't agree that he was a take. It wasn't about scholarships or numbers. It was about like do we take this player? Do we take this player's commitment, sort of thing. Robert Potts, good morning. Catching up on nightcap. Switch to morning Scone minutes ago. The story about Drew really grabs the heart. You're a great dad. Now my question, what are softball's chances? Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. Yeah, we did talk about last night when Drew was in the hospital, and long winding story, and we're kind of running out of time a little bit, but you can catch it on nightcap. It was I was kind of telling the story about how and why I've taken the approach I have with Drew's health and medicine and alternate therapies and everything, just because and I want to be very clear, like Drew's doctors are amazing. Um, their expertise is the reason he's alive. He had amazing doctors and nurses that cared for him, but there were some along the way that told us, he had, they couldn't even give us a chance of survival. One doctor told us we should abort the pregnancy. Um, that even if he did live, he'd have no quality of life, and it would be a really difficult life for me and Erica. Um, and I told him that, like, he was never allowed to talk to my family again. Um, and I just refused to accept that. So that's why I've always been open to different ways of thinking about health and wellness and sort of stuff like that since Drew for Drew. So anyway, we got onto that tangent last night. That's what Robert is talking about. Let's see. Randy Suggs plus Bo Davis equals Fisk. Nah, Randy. See, the thing about Braden Fisk is everybody wanted Braden Fisk last year. Like, they already knew Braden Fisk was a dude. Like, when he was coming out of Western Michigan, it was established he's a bona fide dude. He could have gone to the pros last year, but he said, let me go get a bag, do a year in the Power Five, and increase my draft stock, which he did. He became a second round pick. So no, this is not a Braden Fisk situation. You're not talking about that caliber of player. Michael Cook, good morning. All right, I think we're done, and we're done a little early today. It's good. I can get Drew up, get him ready. I'm going to see Crystal Poche today, and I need it work out the back. So restoredmotions.com. If you want to book a session with Crystal, restoredmotions.com. Hey, remember, as always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Parrish Construction and Roofing. You need an orthopedic, go to Brock. You need a roof, give us a shout. I got Parrish pinned in the chat. If you would, I mentioned it last night on Nightcap, but I would appreciate it greatly, y'all, as we kind of get rolling here with Parrish. I need y'all, man. We're starting from zero again. And we're excited, and we have the know-how and the people and everything to build a big, awesome company and help a lot of people, and we're fired up about that. But as we get going, we need roof inspections. We need the phones to ring and the web submissions. So, if you had high wind or hail or damage to your roof, shingles, fly off the other night, we're expecting bad weather here the next couple of days. If you realize you got a roof leak, from the smallest repair to the largest commercial roof replacement, we can help you. Would love it if you give us a shot. So it's parishbuilt.com is the website, parishbuilt.com, for Parish Construction and Roofing. We will have a hat party soon as well, but we appreciate the support. So parishbuilt.com, or the phone number is the exact same phone number I've been telling you for years. It's 364-1007, 364-1007. Is the number for Paris. It's our same number. Like, we're still at our same office on Perkins Road. It's still Tilly and Terrio and me and Joe. We've added some awesome team members as well. Trent Davis is part of our team with Parrish. So I couldn't be more fired up. But just candidly, we need the phone in the ring. We need web submissions. We're getting the word out there that we exist. So in the meantime, any help y'all can give us, man, boots on the ground. If you know someone who's talking about they need a roof inspection or something, tell them to give us a shout. Parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Okay, y'all, that's going to do it for us. Y'all have an awesome day. LSU Daily is live, AFR 3. We'll see you. Peace.